everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name is Imogen, and in today's video I'm sharing how to actually become 1% better every day. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. So my number one tip, obviously, before you do anything else, you have to define what 1% looks like. So does it mean a specific percentage improvement in your grade? Does it mean saving X amount of money? Does it mean learning X number of new things? Okay, so define what 1% looks like for you, because 1% better each day is going to look very, very different for very different people. So I can't necessarily give you a specific number of things that you need to do to become 1% better, because someone else's 1% might be somebody else's 10%, okay? So define what 1% looks like. Number two, use small amounts of time to improve yourself as a person. 1% is a relatively small, target, and that's why I think it's quite appealing. And sort of on this point, you can use small amounts of time in your day to learn, create, support your health, okay? Make a little list of tasks that you can do. So this might be like micro-learning. This might be sort of mindfulness, it could be exercise. Any amount of time can be seen as productive time, okay? So use small amounts of time. Point three, whenever you're doing something, ask yourself, how is this contributing to my overall vision, okay? If you can't answer immediately and specifically, put it down and work on something you know will help. Getting off track is a big obstacle to becoming 1% better every day, because if you're sort of working on something and then you get distracted by something else and then you get distracted from that, you know, it's been 20 minutes and suddenly you're like 5 times removed from the original thing you're working on, which is absolutely contributing to your goal. So make sure that you always stay on track and ask yourself, how does this contribute to my plan? How does this contribute to my vision? 4, set daily reminders and do not snooze them. Okay, you have to be consistent for this to work. If you're setting daily reminders, alarms, then your body's going to get into a routine. It's going to expect work at certain times, relaxation at certain times, and sleep at certain times, okay? So getting into a routine with the help of reminders is really, really important, and it is something that I've attributed to a lot of the goals that I've achieved over the past few years. Particularly study goals, but it could be anything, is the consistency that's born from reminders, but also paying attention to reminders, because there's no point having a reminder if you're just going to snooze it and ignore it, okay? And I know that's hard, but if you can, turn off the snooze function, so it's kind of like a now or never scenario. Right, number 5, always be volunteering for things outside of your comfort zone. Seek feedback and implement it, okay? So for an example, whenever I have a group project at university and we have to present, I'll always volunteer to present, because I'm trying to hone my public speaking skills. And often I find people in my groups are quite happy to let me present, because that's something that's outside of a lot of people's comfort zones. And is it outside of my comfort zone? Absolutely, yes. Doing this YouTube channel is a stretch of my comfort zone, but it's something that I embrace willingly because I really want to develop that skill. So always be volunteering for things outside of your comfort zone. Moral of the story. You actually have a lot more time than you think, and you can get a lot more done in 1 hour than you think. So I highly recommend you read the book 168 Hours by Laura Vanderkam, and I did actually feature an explanation of this book in my video 6 Books Which Changed My Life, so if you haven't already watched that, go seek it out. But basically, 168 hours is the number of hours in a week, and the author is it's one of the best books I've ever read. It changed my life. But she basically tells you exactly how much time you have in a week, and it's a lot more than people think. Okay, so absolutely, please go and read that book, and you actually have a lot more time than you think. Right, start a project where incremental change builds up. Okay, so for me, this is my YouTube channel. I can see the subscriber count grow, and it motivates me to keep being 1% better. You can also create a micro-adventure jar, so write down small adventurous activities on pieces of paper and place them in a jar. So it could be going to a cafe that you've never been to, or visiting a new city, okay? It can be any kind of small thing that can be done in under, it could be done in under a day or under an hour, but micro-adventures, write them down, put them in a jar, and then you can just pick one randomly and incorporate it into your day or incorporate it into your week. And that sort of mixes up an element of surprise, and it also builds your spontaneity and your curiosity, both of which are really important to becoming 1% better. Embrace the 2-minute rule. I would be remiss if I did not talk about the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule states that if a task can be done in 2 minutes, then do it, okay? It stops small tasks from piling up and becoming overwhelming. So these are things like, washing up your plate after lunch, or putting your shoes away when you get in through the front door, both of which they minimize clutter later on, so you get the idea, okay? Embrace the 2-minute rule. You can also assign a theme to each day of the week. This was actually a point that ChatGPT came up with, because I was interested to see what ChatGPT would think of this topic, and I thought this point was interesting. So, for example, you could have like Mindful Monday, where you meditate every Monday, or Tech-Free Tuesday. It also suggested where you do a digital detox. So, yeah, let me know what you think of that idea in the comments, because I thought it was interesting, so I included it. But yeah, it's up to you. Also. Right, back to my ideas. Create a vision board. I have a vision board, and it reminds me every day, because it's basically on my laptop lock screen. It reminds me every day that I need to work towards my goals. So it really helps me stay on track. And that goes back to the point I made earlier in this video about staying on track and always assessing the task you're doing for how it contributes to your vision. So creating a vision board can be really helpful if you put it in a prominent place and you see it all the time. So this will really help you actually physically observe your goals and see pictures of them, and then you're like, oh, I got to work on that, okay? And that will sort of motivate you and remind you even more to become 1% better. Finally, don't just embrace change, seek it, okay? Ask yourself how you can best achieve the changes you want to see. I really preach proactivity a lot on this channel, and that is for a reason. And that reason is that proactive people are generally vastly more successful and vastly more well-liked in my own experience. So be proactive, don't just passively accept change, seek change, okay? Drive change in your own life. And that is how you will become 1% better every day. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye!